Hello and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is, of course, about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information comes from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and OnThisDay.com. For links to those sources, music, and anything else we gather throughout the show that you might find interesting, check the description, which also has other things as well. Anyway, I am Aoxander.
Oh, I'm Spike. So,
Yeah. And today is Sun's Day, also known as Sunday, May 8th, 2022. Why don't you start us off today?
right? It says 453 BC. Well, today's May 8th, 2022. So, May 8th in 453 BC,
Yep.
which is 2,474 years ago, spring and autumn period, the House of Zhao defeats the House of Z, ending the battle in Jinyang, a military conflict between the elite families of the state of Jin.
Interesting. Doing a bit of a time jump here. Looks like the time is multiplying by almost 2 in the year 413, which was 1,609 years ago. Emperor Honorius signed an edict providing tax relief for the Italian provinces Tuscia, Campania, Picenium, Samnium, Apulia, Lucania, and Calabria, which were plundered by the Visigoths. Ooh,
Where are these places, man? The one of them sounded like China. That one I know is Italy.
I know, right? Yeah.
1360, 662 years ago, the Treaty of Brittany. Brittany? Yeah, the Treaty of Brittany, drafted between King Edward III of England and King John II of France. The Good.
Interesting. 13 years later, in 1373, Julian of Norwich, a Christian mystic and anchoress, experienced the deathbed visions described in her revelations of divine love. Interesting.
Divine Live?
Divine love.
There's such thing? No.
Apparently.
1429, 593 years ago, Joan of Arc lifts the siege of Orleans?
Yeah.
The siege of
Orleans.
Orleans.
Yep.
Turning the tide between the Hundred Years' War.
Yeah, that's when French, the French started pushing the English back. So, in 1516, a group of in 1450, I almost forgot about this one. The Kinshisan revolt against King Henry VI occurred. And then in 1516, a group of imperial guards led by Trinth Dui San murdered Emperor Le Tronc Duc and fled, leaving the capital Thang Long undefended.
What?
Yeah.
Those are weird ass words, man.
Yeah.
You need to put a spelling next to yours.
It looks to be Vietnam. So,
Alright.
yeah.
Ding dong, kong kong. No, no, just kidding.
Goodness.
1541, 481 years ago, Hernando de Soto stops near President Day's Walls, Mississippi, and seizes the Mississippi River, then known by the Spanish as Rio de Espiritu Santo, the name given to it by Alonso Alvarez de Pineda in 1519. Wow, that's trippy, dude.
Yeah.
I just read something about the Mississippi River, that there's a place called Cairo, and there's a lake called Lake Egypt.
What?
Yeah, so this means the river of the Holy Spirit.
Ooh.
So that's what he's referencing to, the Mississippi River.
Interesting. There's a street nearby called Paseo de las Palomas. So.
De las Palomas. That's all the birds.
I thought it was like the Street of Gold or something.
Palomas are those white pigeons, the doves.
Oh, so it's like the Street of Doves or something?
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, moving on up into 1608, a newly nationalized silver mine in Scotland at Hilderston, West Lothian, was reopened by Bevis Bulmer.
You? A silver mine?
Yeah. Newly nationalized silver mine.
Oh, shit. Hey, you know there's a place that could get diamonds, I think?
Yeah.
Like a national park?
Africa, Russia, diamonds are not rare.
No, there's a national park. or you could just
Oh,
go and find diamonds.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
1639, 383 years ago, William Coddington finds Newport, Rhode Island.
Interesting. Why don't you take the next article? That one was a little short.
1758, 264 years ago, the Maratha Empire captures Persia from the Durrani Empire in the Battle of the Persia War. The Maratha Empire was extended to its furthest distance away from Pune that it reached over 2,000 kilometers, which is 200 miles, almost to the borders of Afghanistan.
Dang.
Damn. It was ruthless.
Yeah. 30 years later, in 1788, King Louis XV of France attempted to impose the reforms of Etienne Charles de Lomene de Brienne by abolishing the parliaments. Never a good idea to abolish parliaments.
Abolish all of them.
Dictatorship for everybody!
That's basically what fucking people do.
Yeah.
Reset the lobby.
Yeah.
Let's see, 1794, 228 years ago. What was it? Branded a traitor during the Region of Terror, French chemist Antoine Lavoisier. Lavoisier.
Lavoisier, yeah.
Lavoisier, who was also a tax collector with the firm Generale, is tired, convicted, and guillotined one day in Paris.
Jesus
Fuck!
Christ.
They're like, I'll put his head immediately.
That guy got fucked. Moving on up into 1821, during the Great War of Independence, the Greeks defeated the Turks at the Battle of Grava Inn.
Hey, that's crazy though. Going back to that.
Yeah.
Antoine Lavoisier. He was
Yeah.
a tax collector and a chemist.
Mm-hmm.
Sick as wood.
Yeah. Yeah, he was tried and convicted and guillotined. It's just like, that's horrible.
Like, oh, off with your head now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
1842.
1842.
Yeah.
Train derails, catches fire in Paris, killing 52 to 200 people. Damn.
Dang.
52 and 200 people?
No, between. So it's at least 52 and at most 200. So one of those two or somewhere in between. That's how many people died in that fire, which really sucks. So. In 1846, during the Mexican-American War, American forces led by Zachary Taylor defeated a Mexican force north of the Rio Grande in the first major battle of the war.
Damn. Zachary Taylor?
Yep. I think he was a president, right? Zachary Taylor, or he had something to do with, maybe he was a vice president? Let me check this out really quick. Where is
He was a commander.
Zachary Taylor.
Zachary?
He was the 12th U.S. president. I was right.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he would later become a president. Welcome to the show, Sohen.
Tohan.
We
Say hi,
are
Tohan.
in 1877.
1877, at Gilmore Gardens in New York City, the first Westminster Kennel Club dog show opens.
Interesting.
So, Sohen?
Yo, hello.
You want to tell us? You want to tell us what happened in 1886?
Yeah, 1886. Pharmacist John Burton first sells a carbonated beverage named Coca-Cola as a patent medicine.
Oh, here we go. Happy birthday, awful, horrible soda that police used to wash away bloodstains from crime scenes.
You could do that?
Yeah, no, dude, like, I heard, like, back when I was, like, 13, 14, that police officers carried 2-liter bottles of Coke in their in their trunk, and if there's, like, blood, like, on a shooting scene or something, they just, like, wash it off with the Coke, because it's so acidic. It's better than, like, commercial products, and we drink that. What the hell?
I don't drink that shit.
I don't either. I boycotted Coke long ago, and then their whole Be Less White campaign really drove the nail in the coffin with that. So,
yeah.
But
I'll
anyway,
drink it, like, with a shitload of fucking ice, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, I get Shasta Cola. But anyway, in 1898, the first games of the Italian Football League system were played.
Ooh. Oh, heck. Okay, in 1899, 123 years ago, the Irish Literary Theatre in Dublin produced its first play.
Cool.
Like, and in 1902, in Martinique, Mont Pelée erupts, destroying the town of Saint Pierre, killing over 30,000 people. Only a handful of residents survived the blast. God damn, you're lucky.
That's some tongue twisted freaking.
Are they lucky though? Because everybody they knew is dead for the most part. Is that really luck? Anyway, 1912, Paramount Pictures was founded. Cool.
Oh,
Happy
I
birthday,
thought it said found dead.
Found dead.
I read it too fast. I was like, "What the fuck? Found dead."
Yes, we found a movie studio just got murdered in an alleyway.
Isn't 1912 the Titanic one?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Which we actually
Is it around that
recorded
year?
on like a couple months ago. Or a couple weeks ago. Anyway, in 1919, Edward George Honey proposed the idea of a moment of silence to commemorate the armistice of 11th November 1918, which ended the First World War.
we need another moment of silence, guys. 2 seconds. All right, cool.
So, 1921, the Communist Party of Romania.
Alright.
Boo, communism.
1924, the Klaipeda Convention is signed, formally incorporating Klaipeda region mammal territory in Lithuania.
In Lithuania.
Lithuania.
Yeah. 3 years later, in 1927, attempting to make the first non-stop transatlantic flight from Paris to New York, French war heroes Charles Nungesser and Francois Colli disappear after taking off aboard the White Bird biplane. Uh-oh.
Not
What's Sohan?
That don't sound good at all.
Nope. Who wants 1933 here?
I'll do it. 1933, Mohandas Gandhi begins a 21-day fast of self-purification and launches a one-year campaign to help the Harajan movement.
What is the Harajan movement? Let's look that up real quick. Why can't I highlight it? There we go. Harajan movements. Harajan Civic Sangh is a non-profit organization founded by Mahatma Gandhi in 1932 to eradicate untouchability in India, working for Haraj or Dalit people. Interesting. I'm going to add this wiki into the underbar. What happened next?
What?
1941.
World War II, man.
Oh yeah, here we go.
The German Luftwaffe. Oh no, not waffle. Luftwaffe launches a bombing raid on Nottingham and Derby.
It sounds like the Battle of Britain. 365 days later, in 1942, also during World War II, gunners of the Ceylon Garrison Artillery on Horsburgh Island in the Crocos Islands rebel in the Crocos Islands mutiny. Their mutiny was crushed and 3 of them were executed, the only British Commonwealth soldiers to be executed for mutiny during the Second World War. Dang.
Go next.
So
That's all World War II?
Yeah, a lot of World War II. Like, stuff happened every day. Like, every day we have, like, between 2 to 10 articles on World War II. It's nuts. It's, like, the most,
I'll take it.
Alright.
World War II, the Battle of Coral Sea comes to an end with Imperial Japanese Navy aircraft attacking and sinking the United States Navy aircraft carrier, the USS Lexington.
Also in 1942, and also during the Second World War, the German 11th Army began Operation Trappenjagd, which is a bustard hunt, and destroyed the bridgehead of the 3 Soviet armies, defending the Kerch Peninsula. Where is the Kerch Peninsula?
How many peninsulas are there, man?
A lot of peninsulas. The world is full of them.
I only know about like 3.
The Kersh Peninsula. That's yeah. It's is that over by Turkey? Let me see here. Maps. Kersh Peninsula. Yeah, yeah. That's over
Damn.
where. Yes, in Turkey.
By the war going on right now, somewhere on
Yeah. Well, there's always a war going on. Sohan, do you want to take the first two 45s here?
Hell yeah. 1945, end of the Prague Uprising, celebrated now as national holiday in Czech Republic.
Cool.
And also in 1945, hundreds of Algerian civilians are killed in French army soldiers in a Sétif massacre.
That's awful.
All of them.
Dang.
1945 Halifax riots start when thousands of civilians and servicemen rampage through Halifax, Nova Scotia. Damn, Canada. Also, 1945, World War II, the German instrument of surrender signed at Reims comes into effect.
So the end of World War II, officially, in Europe at least. So, VE Day. Actually, let's see. When was VE Day? VE Day was May 8th, today, 1945. Okay, so yeah. So officially the end of World War II in Europe.
That shit all ended in a year?
No, it ended in 45. It started in 39.
Oh, yeah, that was years. What the hell?
Yeah. No, it started in 39 unless you view World War II as just an extension of the First World War, in which it started in 1914 with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. And even by then, there had already been a whole domino effect of conflicts that led up to that. So you can even say that World War I started in the 1800s, whatever. Like, it's madness. What happened in 46, Mr. Spike?
Estonian schoolgirls at Estonian schoolgirls Aili and Jogi and Agita Pavel blew up in the Soviet memorial, which produced the Bronze Soldier of Tallinn.
Dang, Bronze Soldier of Tallinn. Let me look at that. Did they make a new thing out of the scrap or what? Bronze Soldier of Tallinn. Huh. Well, it's still there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look more into that. Anyway, moving on up into 1950, the Tollund Man was discovered in a peat bog near Spikeborg, Denmark. The Tollund Man. Let me look this up here real quick. Tollund Man. Oh, wow. He's mummified. Okay.
That fool was mummified?
Yeah. Yeah, I have it up on my stream if you want to look at it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's mummified. Oh. Interesting. What happened in 57?
South Vietnamese president Ngo Dinh Diem began a state visit in the United States, his regime's main sponsor.
Yeah. 6 years later, in 1963, South Vietnamese soldiers under the Roman Catholic President Ngo Dinh Diem opened fire on Buddhists, defying a ban on the flying of the Buddhist flag in Vesak, killing 9 and sparking the Buddhist Crisis. Now wait a minute, didn't we just talk about this guy? The Roman Catholic President Ngo Dinh Diem. But he was also the South Vietnamese president. What the heck? Something's weird.
Dick.
Oh, he was a Roman Catholic as well. Okay, that's a bit of a mindfuck. Sohan, what happened in 67?
1967. 1967, the Philippine province of Davao is split into 3: Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, and Davao Oriental.
Take the next one, too.
Also in 1970, the Beatles released their 12th and final album, Let It Be.
Let it be, let it be.
Let it go. Wait, wrong song.
That's Frozen. 1972, Vietnam War, U.S. President Richard Nixon announces his order to place naval mines in major North Vietnamese ports in order to stem the flow of weapons and other goods to the nation. Damn!
Yeah.
30 fool.
Yep. 1 year later, in 1973, a 71-day standoff between federal authorities and the American Indian Movement members occupying the Pine Ridge Reservation at Wounded Knee, South Dakota, ended with the surrender of the militants. I wouldn't really call them militants. They deserve, this is their shit, dude. This is their land, you know. So, come on.
Yep. 1976, the roller coaster New Revolution, the first steel coaster with a vertical loop, opens at Six Flags at Magic Mountain.
Hey, that's in my neighborhood. Just down
Also
the
in
street.
1976, the roller coaster of the New Revolution has its first death. Now imagine.
Wait, what?
I'm fucking with you.
I thought you were rereading it. I'm just like, hold on a second. That changed.
1979, I was kidding, guys. Yeah. 1978, the first accident of Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen by Reinhold Messner and Peter E. Habler.
Yeah, the first ascent. So that's the first time that they was up without extra oxygen or supplement oxygen. So that way, you know, so they have to like breathe without, you know, putting the mask on and everything. That's
hard as fuck, bro. You know how much pressure is over there? Shit.
Oh man, no pressure. That's the thing. There's no air pressure. You can't get breath. There's nothing up there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how much pressure your lungs are taking because of that?
Well, no, your lungs are not taking pressure. That's the thing. Like, you know, the more up you go, the less pressure there is. So that's why it's hard to breathe up there, because you have less
density. Your lungs
density.
are expanding?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's why it's hard to breathe, because you can't get the oxygen you need in, because it's so dispersed up there. It's just, you know? Anyway, in 1980, the World Health Organization confirmed the eradication of smallpox.
Woo! Now let's do COVID.
Oh, wait. 30 years, you know?
1980. Oh, fuck, damn, that shit took 42. Wait, how many? I wonder how long did it take for chickenpox to get out? Like 1980? That shit came out in the 1800s, right?
Hold on a second. Let me check this out. Smallpox.
Yeah, it started in the 1800s when the British came over here.
Naturally occurring smallpox was destroyed worldwide by 1980. But smallpox start. Smallpox appeared in China in the 4th century CE. Yeah, that's why I've been saying, like, all these horrible things all come out of China. The Black Death, the bubonic plague came out of China. The Spanish flu came out of China.
China!
And actually, one of those two specifically came out of Wuhan. What a surprise right there. So, anyway, in 1984, Corporal Dennis Lortie entered the Quebec National Assembly and opened fire, murdering 3 people and wounding an additional 13. Rene Jalbert, Sergeant-at-Arms of the Assembly, succeeds in calming him, for which he would later receive the Cross of Valor. Good lord.
Damn.
Just kick in the door to start blasting. Sorry.
Yeah. 1984, the USSR announces a boycott on the Summer Olympics at Los Angeles, later joined by 14 other countries.
How about screw them? We still had it.
Fuck the USSR, dog. It's all about LA. What the fuck?
Yeah. Pretty funny that a decade after that, there would not be a USSR. So,
joke's on them.
no, right? We boycott you. There is no USSR. There is no spoon. What else happened in 84, Spike? Okay. In 1984, the Thames Barrier was officially opened, preventing the floodplain of most Greater London from being flooded except under extreme circumstances. Nice.
Yeah, niggas from the train, man.
And then in 1987, the SAS killed 8 Provisional Irish Republican Army volunteers and a civilian during an ambush in Loughgall, Northern Ireland. You know what? Maybe UK, if you just like let your last, subject go. I support a free Ireland. Everybody else has been independence from you, UK. So, free Ireland. Come on.
Right?
Come on. There's no need for this crap. Let them
You got Germany right there. You got fucking French right there.
Yep.
I can't believe that they still own fucking like half of the fucking island right there. It's Jamaica and then Cuba and fucking
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, but they're not
No,
owned
no,
by
we
Britain.
own Puerto
Only
Rico.
Jamaica.
The United
Only
States.
Jamaica.
The United States owns Puerto Rico.
But not Jamaica, and they're like on the same island.
No. Jamaica is more. Well, where is Jamaica? Let's see.
Yeah, it's in the same island. It's like Dominican Republic and then Jamaica.
Let me see here. Maps. Jamaica is its own island.
Oh, I
Dominican
guess, yeah.
Republic.
But it's part of those islands, like Jamaica.
Oh yeah, no, you're thinking about Dominican Republic and Haiti. They share an island.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico is to the right of that, and then Jamaica is to the left, and that's all in the Caribbean, just south and southeast of Cuba.
It's a little weird that it's owned by different people.
Yeah, I know, right? Everything's just gone crazy. Did you know that the U.S. owns the Philippines?
Yep.
Anyway, in 1997, actually no, in 1988, a fire at Illinois Bell's Hinsdale Central Office triggered an extended one AESS network outage, once considered to be the, quote, worst telecommunications disaster in U.S. telephone industry history, end quote.
That was
Dang.
a fire that triggered it? I thought it was a freaking solar flare that knocked out all the cables.
I don't know. Maybe the solar flare caused the fire. You know, maybe somebody had a big old magnifying glass. I don't know. Who wants 1997 here?
I'll do it. 1997, China South Airline Flight 3456 crashes on approach to Bao'an International Airport, killing 35 people.
Dang. Spike, take this last article of the main body here, please.
Let's see, which one? 2019?
Yep.
3 years ago, right? The British 17-year-old Isabel Holloway is reported to be the first patient to ever receive genetically modified phage therapy to treat drug-resistant infection.
Interesting. What is phage? I'm going to look this up. Genetically modified phage therapy. What the heck is phage therapy? Well, it's not telling me. What is genetically modified phage? Genetically engineered phages have been used to improve existing methods to kill bacterial hosts, provide phages with entirely novel mechanisms to kill host cells, and alter gene expression of targeted bacterial hosts. Interesting.
Whoa.
Before we get to Burst and Dust here, any articles grab your guys' attention?
What's up?
Before we get into Burst and Dust, any articles get your attention? Anything like intriguing today beyond everything else? You know, like for me, for example, like the end of World War II in Europe, VE Day. Officially.
So that, yeah.
Yeah.
There was that one that did interest me. Oh, that one about the Mississippi River and all that shit, like being called like the Holy Spirit fucking river. I was like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, that is cool.
Because they also found artifacts of Osiris and Iris in that fucking river.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, what the fuck? I had just read up on that shit too.
That's really intriguing because they found a lot of like Aztec, Inca, and Mayan ruins, like whichever one it was, like in Florida and like along the northern coast of the Gulf of Mexico, like in the marshes. There's pyramids there.
Yeah, there was there's pyramids here before. Like that's why they're saying like so you know how they said Atlantis, right? Like
Yeah.
this, think about it like this. Latin is like the root fucking language, right?
More or less.
So like Atlantis, Atlantic Ocean, Atlantic, right?
Yeah.
Atlantis, like that. Titis is island. Atlan is like the land over there in Mexico.
Interesting. That is a.
And then why did
something to
why did the
chew on.
French buy that part of the fucking U.S., the river, and then all of a sudden the U.S. was like so interested in it right away, right when they got here?
Are you talking about the Louisiana Purchase? All that stuff?
Yeah.
No, that was a French territory, and they sold it to us. They didn't buy it. They had
Yeah,
it.
but why were they so interested in doing it?
Well,
Like-
because it was during the Napoleonic Wars, and Napoleon sold that to the U.S. to fund his army to, go fight during the war of the whatever
It's pretty
coalition.
specific to go after that territory right away, though, when you could just take over the other territory.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, damn, like, and then not only that, like, That river has a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's a place called Cairo here,
Yeah, that is intriguing.
and they find Egyptian artifacts. That's why I was like, what?
That is a subject for a different type of show. I'd love to dig into that, honestly. Like,
Yeah, but that come out.
yeah. Anyway, let's get into bursts here. Who wants to start us off?
Verse 1326, Joanne Countess of Auvergne.
Joan the First, Countess of Auvergne.
That was a trivia name.
Yeah.
Auvergne. 1427, John Tipoff, first Earl of Worcester, Lord High Treasurer.
1508, Charles Wriothesley, an English officer of arms.
Go do two.
No, I'm waiting for Sohan.
Okay. What were we on?
1551.
1551, Thomas Dury, English government reformer and swindler. Wow, what the fuck?
Swindler.
He was a known English government informer, isn't there?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
60
shit, I read.
I tell you that.
He's not the first rat who was born today. Wait till we get to the end of bursts here.
Oh shit. 1628, Angelo Italia, Sicilian Jesuit and architect.
You want to talk about an Italian name? It's right there. Angelo Italia. 1632, we have Heino Heinrich Graf von Flemming. He was a German field marshal and politician.
Gohan.
Sohan,
Yeah.
your turn.
What year?
1653. Are you in the middle of something, dude?
No.
Okay.
1660. Wait. What was it again?
1653, dude.
Claude. 1653. Claude Louis Hector de Valois, French general and politician who was a French minister of defense.
1670, Charles Beauclerc is the first Duke of St. Albans, English soldier and politician who was Lord Lieutenant of Berkshire.
1698, Henry Baker was born on the States. He was an English naturalist.
Okay. In 1753, Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla, Mexican priest and rebel leader.
Oh, rebel.
1821, William Henry Vanderbilt, American businessman and philanthropist.
Now,
And Nicholas stuff.
Yeah, didn't he have something to do, like, the Vanderbilt, it was like a steel company or something, or like, because I know Vanderbilt is one of the men who made America during the Industrial Revolution, but didn't he have some kind of hand, because I know Westinghouse or Morgan House or some house was funding Nikola Tesla until they found out he was trying to provide free power.
George Westinghouse.
Yeah. Was Vanderbilt involved in that, or like is that name just in my head because of other reasons?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, let's move on up into 1824. William Walker was an American physician, lawyer, journalist, and mercenary. Wow. That's a strange resume right
The
there.
railroad.
1829, Henry Durant, Swiss businessman activist who co-founded the Red Cross.
Yeah.
1839, Adolphe Bézier Routhier, Canadian judge and author and songwriter.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
A judge who writes songs. Like, I hit the gavel today. I don't know.
Hey, I was thinking about that shit. Like, who invented that shit? Like, I just hit this hammer and everybody shuts up. Like,
I know, right?
Oda.
Actually, let me look that up. Now it's like, why do judges use gavels? It can be used to call for attention or to punctuate rulings and proclamations, and is a symbol of the authority and right to act. But it's not telling me Like, why
Like,
they
cool.
started
Why
using
they
it.
invented that shit? I guess we're synchronized with that shit. Like, you hit a hammer, it's like, damn. Hey, what do you want, bro?
Yeah. Well, here, in medieval England, the word gavel could refer to a tribute or rent payment made with something other than cash. These agreements were set in English land court with the sound of a gavel, a word which may come from the Old English gathol, meaning tribute. Gavel would be prefixed by a non-monetary payment given to a lord, for example, gavel mot, and can be found as a prefix to other terms such as gavel kind, which is a system of partible inheritance formerly found in parts of the UK and Ireland. A gavel may also have referred to a kind of mason's tool, a setting maul that can come into use as a way to maintain order in meetings. Okay,
Oh, Mason. It was Masonic.
of course, it's Masonic.
It comes from Masonic tribute,
Yep.
sir.
Well, the Masonic does not have to do necessarily with like the Freemasons. Masonic is its own thing, and the Freemasons are a Masonic order. So,
The people that would work in engineering and shit like that. They know a lot about math. Know a lot about construction.
yeah. Anyway, let's get it back into births here. In 1856, we have Pedro Lascarian, was a Mexican politician who was the president of Mexico for 45 minutes on February 13th, 1913.
Whoa, 45 minutes? What happened? You got shot or what the fuck?
I don't know, man. Like, maybe that might have been a revolution start. I don't know.
1884, Harry S. Truman, American colonel and politician, 33rd President of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
1895, James H. Kineberger, a American businessman.
Yeah, Kindle Burger. So, like, you know, ebooks now serve
Kindle.
lunch, you know? 1899, Arthur Q. Bryan was an American actor, voice actor, comedian, and radio personality.
Sohan.
Okay.
Mr. Sohan, 1902.
1902, Audrey Michael Loaf, French microbiologist and physician.
That's an interesting last name, Wolf.
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 1910, George Mayo, English footballer.
1911, William Dredrick de Gay Fortman, a Dutch jurist and politician who was a Dutch minister of the interior. Someone named Gay in a position called the interior. Okay. I don't know why I had to say that.
Also, 1912, George Woodcock, Canadian author and poet.
Nice ass name, man.
Making
19
a joke about morning wood is too easy with that name.
Woodcock. What?
Woodcock.
Everybody turns around like, what?
Wood. Oh wow! Look, it's a woodpecker.
1916. Chinmayan. What the hell? Chinmayanda Saraswati, Indian spiritual leader and educator. Nice.
1924, we have Subramaniam Vithyanathan, was a Sri Lankan author and academic.
That's Vishnathan, no? Vishnanthan. I don't know. That's a weird one.
I can't pronounce these Sri Lankan and Indian names, dude. They're always just like somebody just like grabbed a keyboard and just like smashed their face on it. Like, oh, there's their name. No offense to the Indians and Sri Lankans.
Yeah, all the last things, like, you know.
No,
Yeah.
the parent, the dad done dipped his nuts on the keyboard. Whatever pops up, what's the name?
Oh my goodness.
But yep. Sila Dansara. Arthur Sila Danda.
Sohan, who was born in 1926 today.
1926, Don Rickle. Well, 1926, David Attenborough, Canadian actor.
Yeah. 1927, we have Chami Chamez, a Spanish actor, director, and screenwriter.
1932, we got what the hell? Filiada Law, Scottish actress.
I wonder if she takes after Sylvester Stallone. I am the law.
1945, Arthur Dr. Van Leeuwen, Dutch jurist and politician.
1953, Alex Van Halen, sorry, it's not supposed to be Can, it's Van, that was a typo, was a Dutch U.S. drummer, or is one, I don't know if he's still alive.
U.S. 1961, Bill de Blasio, was it Blasio? He was a U.S. politician. De Blasio.
Yeah.
Was a U.S. politician who was the 109th mayor of New York City.
Yeah. 1961, David Winning, hashtag Winning, Canadian U.S. director, producer, and screenwriter. I wonder if he has any tiger blood.
1963, Anthony Field, Austrian guitarist, songwriter, producer, and actor.
I thought he was Australian.
Australian, yeah.
Well, here's a good name for you, Mr. Spike. You there, Spike? Hello? I think, Spike, if you can hear me, we can't hear you. Your thing's lighting up. So I'm not sure if you're having an audio issue. Sohan, why don't you take this one?
Yeah.
In 1968, Teet Kask, Estonian ballet dancer and choreographer.
You know, not to disrespect that name, but Teet Kask, it sounds like a container for a boob. You know?
Teet Kask.
Yeah.
All right. 1972?
Yep.
1972, Darren Hayes, Australian songwriter.
1993, Pat Cummins, Australian cricketer.
Ooh, what's he coming in?
Cricketer.
Coming in the next guy here.
Okay, 1996, Daniel Hernandez, also known as 6ix9ine.
Yep.
U.S. rapper and rat.
Yep. Washed up rapper and snitch.
Ugh.
I told you, like, you know, more than one scumbag was born today. Anyway, let's move on to the deaths here, starting us off in 535, Pope John II.
615, Pope Boniface the Fourth. Oh no, there's two. Never mind. Pope John.
Like the day.
Yeah.
635, Pope Benedict II.
Yeah. In my source, it was just Pope. So it's just like, I guess today is the day the Pope goes to meet God. Doing a significant time jump here into 1473, we have John Stafford, first Earl of Wiltshire, was an English politician.
1782, Sebastião José de Carolho de Melo first Marquis of Pombal, Portuguese politician who was Prime Minister of Portugal.
Now,
18.
we all got to say this one together. Kamehameha!
The King of Hawaii Islands?
Yep.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't know there was a guy named that.
Yeah.
Also, 1842, Jules de Marc de Earnville, French admiral and explorer. What's the fucking name Earnville?
I know. Mr. Spike, I interrupted your last one, so why don't you take this one here? I'm sorry about that.
1945, Frank Bourne, British soldier who was the last survivor of the Battle of Rogues Drift.
So was that the guy who wandered the desert or something? Remember we were talking about a guy a while ago in one of the articles where like he was the last survivor, or is this somebody else? Soen?
I think so.
Ah, okay. Anyway, 1947, we have Harry Gordon Selfridge, a U.S. English businessman who founded Selfridges.
In 1948, you saw Burmese politician who was a Prime Minister of Burma.
I saw that? Huh. I don't remember that, but okay.
J.C. Whitehead, Indian English mathematician and academic, 1960.
Yeah. His full name is John Henry Constantine Whitehead. And we skipped over one. In 1952, William Fox, an Austrian businessman who founded Fox Theaters.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, it happens.
It was Austrian? I got into Fox Theaters.
Yeah. I've seen it, yeah. It's in downtown LA somewhere, right? I've seen it.
The Fox Theater?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple of them, but I've been to one over there in what is it? At the Valley by the Nas Theater in San Bernardino.
Ah, okay. 1960, we have John Henry Constantine. Oh, we already went through that. Who wants 1969?
1969, Remington Kellogg, U.S. zoologist and paleontologist.
I wonder if he... Yeah, it was just a random thought.
Kellogg guy.
Yeah.
1982, Neil Bogard, U.S. record producer who co-founded Casablanca Records. Ooh, I heard of Casablanca.
Yeah. Casablanca, the movie. Then there's the city in, I believe it's Fez?
Morocco.
No, Morocco. Yeah, Fez is another city. Morocco. So, 2 years later, 1984, Leela Bell Wallace died on the States. She was a U.S. publisher who co-founded Reader's Digest.
1985, Karl Marx, German conductor and composer.
Not the Soviet guy, or not the communist guy. Different Karl Marx.
1985, Theodore Surgeon, U.S. actor and critic.
1985 as well, Dolph Sweet, a U.S. actor.
1994, George Peppard, U.S. actor and producer.
Don't know him.
Spike, 2003.
2003, Elvira Paga, Brazilian vedette, singer, and artist.
Vedette is a mounted sentry positioned beyond an army's outpost to observe the movements of the enemy, or a leading star of stage, screen, or television. So she was like a main star. Pardon me. 2012, Ampon...
Thai criminal.
2013, Brian Forbes was an English actor, director, producer, and screenwriter.
2014, Roger L. Easton, U.S. scientist who co-invented the GPS.
Nice. 2015.
Yeah, 2015, Miliup Lunga, Congolese footballer.
Also 2015, Atanas Semerdzev died on the States. He was a Bulgarian soldier and politician who is the first vice president of Bulgaria.
Nice.
2016, Tom M. Esposito, U.S. analysis of number theorists.
Interesting.
2019, Sprint Dabuido, president of Nauru from 2011 to 2013.
And last but not least, in 2021, just last year, we have Helmut John, a German U.S. architect. Should have been wearing a helmet, you know, but oh well. Anyway, that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar in the description for any links that you may find interesting, which also includes
Shogun TV on Twitch.
and everything Omni Coalition. For your dose of Bass Events Daily, we stream every day between 12 noon and 3 p.m. Pacific.
2 to 5 Central.
Yep. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
I am me.
Yep. And you are you. And until you see us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles. Let's go, Brandon.